Okay. Bueno, que lo que mi gente. Welcome to my universe. Welcome back to my universe. This is Starlini speaking, as you should already know. And of course, it is after 12 a.m., which is around the time that I feel most of my thoughts and songs and all my creative energy comes to me. So, of course, I'm sitting here right now with something to say. I have something on my heart, and I know it has been such a fat minute since I've been on my little or I've been active on my little corner of YouTube, but that is going to change. I'm actually editing a video ahora, and in the process of editing this video, a thought occurred to me, and I just wanted to share this quote that I came across, and I want to start sharing more of these quotes. I have a Pinterest board. I may have linked it in the description of some of my videos in the past, but it is a Pinterest board where I save inspiring or motivational quotes, and I just like to start transferring some of that energy over to this little corner of YouTube and sharing it, especially with those of you who are young and who are reaching out to me and following my story and my journey through these videos that I have uploaded. So I won't make any promises. I won't say that this is something that I would do like twice a week or 4 times a week or anything. We'll see what happens. Tú sabes, vamos a ver. Pero I just wanted to start with this quote, something simple that is so important. And the quote or the advice that I'd like to share tonight is strive to live a life that you deserve. It's very simple, very straightforward. However, I have found that this is probably one of the hardest things that we will do as people. Striving to live a life that you deserve sometimes looks like abandoning people. Sometimes it looks like abandoning bad habits or old habits or parts of yourself that no longer deserve or no longer serve you, And striving to live a life that you deserve is going to be uncomfortable at times. Life is uncomfortable sometimes, especially when you have a desire to grow. But I would encourage all of you preteens and, 16, 17, and 18 and 19-year-old kids who reach out to me to do just that very thing. Imagine the kind of life that you would like to live, and you don't settle for anything that is less than that. Don't settle for a life that you are unsatisfied with or that you are suffering from. I do see your emails, and I will be uploading my responses to your emails soon, so stay tuned for those. But I do see that a lot of us are suffering. A lot of us are suppressing our pain and our sorrow. A lot of us are really struggling to find something to get us up in the morning and to keep us focused on the positive because there's just not enough good energy coming our way. There's not enough good energy that we have access to or sometimes that we're able to see because the negative cloud hanging over our heads is just so thick. And it's oftentimes just easier to see what's wrong with your life or what you think is wrong with you than what is right. But if you notice that there is any facet of your life in which you are unsatisfied with, or you are feeling miserable, or you're feeling and actually being told by people that you're less than, you might want to just start creating a picture in your mind of what life would look like without those people, without those comments that you're hearing. It's one thing to internalize someone's behavior to mean that you are less than or that they don't like you or they don't respect you, but it's another thing when people show you that. And you shouldn't let somebody show you more than one time that they don't respect you and that they are not interested in helping you evolve, whether that's your parent or whether that's your good friend, whether that's a mentor, whether that's someone in your church, whether that's just somebody in your community or your extended family. It doesn't matter. Oftentimes, the people who will hurt us the most are the people who are closest to us because they have that agency, they have that access to us. And you will let yourself be so vulnerable. You'll let your guard down with those people because you don't ever expect it to be your mother. You don't ever expect it to be your brother, to betray you or to betray your trust. But once those things happen, it is up to you, no matter how old or how young you are, it is up to you to put your foot down and say, I will not stand for it. That is the energy that you have to have. That is the attitude that you have to have. I've walked away from so many people. And once upon a time, I did wonder if maybe there was something wrong with me because I would drop somebody so quick. And I mean, I don't care how long I've known you. I would drop you so quickly because it's me or it's you. And in my life, I would choose me over you always. I have to. Because the moment that I fall and I refuse to get back up, my life is over. My life is out of my control. I can't give anybody that power over me. So when I say it's me or it's you, it's not to say that you cannot care for other people's. It's not to say that you can't care for others like you care for yourself. You just shouldn't care for other people more than you care for yourself. That is my humble opinion. Everybody else has the option to care for you, to respect you, to uplift you, and so on and so forth. But you don't get to give yourself that option. You have to care about yourself. You have to prioritize your health. And unfortunately, a lot of us are born into situations we really would not be in. I know I'm not the only person who would have chose maybe a different set of parents or maybe just a different time to be born or so on and so forth if I had control over those things, just so that I wouldn't be exposed to so much trauma and misery, especially at such a young age. I mean, my childhood was riddled with trauma and pain and sorrow. I was a really sad child for the second half of my upbringing. And even in my first 8 years, I experienced things that traumatized me and silenced me, but things just grew to be progressively worse. And here I am now. Years later, I've evolved and I've healed in some ways, but obviously I've suffered in some ways as well. And now my life's work, which I've mentioned before, is about healing and overcoming things that I would have never chosen to experience. I can't feel bad for myself. And quite frankly, I don't. Because I'm grateful for everything that life has taught me. I'm grateful for the insight that I've gathered along the way. And I'm fortunate enough to still be here in order to express the things that I never said and the things that I once suppressed. So there is some good to, what seemed like a really terrible thing once upon a time. Granted, there are some things I would like to not have to experience ever again, like assault, home invasions, and everything in between, being held at gunpoint. I'd never want to experience those things ever again. I'm not glad that I went through those things. I'm glad that I overcame them. And if you are somebody struggling in your situation right now, just look forward to how and when you will overcome the hurdles that you have in front of you right now, and don't stop until you get to the other side. Like I said, it's really important to be able to imagine yourself in a better place. Just imagine. Imagine yourself being able to live a life where you're not looking over your shoulder because you're so used to people attacking you and coming after you, trying to take from you or bring you down and pull you down to their low vibrational energy levels. Imagine yourself being able to receive and give love and affection to others. That was something that started just a few years ago for me. I just started allowing people to hug me. I'm a work in progress, and so are you. We are all works in progress. Some people just choose to do more work and put more effort into evolving and becoming better versions of themselves. Other people don't care as much. You want to steer clear of those people, even if they are in your family. Actually, especially if they are in your family. Because like I said, those people tend to be closer to you, and you don't want to give people that power to bring you down, especially when you're a young person, because you're so vulnerable. And oftentimes I've learned that oftentimes young people are not as protected. People look at us as if we're just blowing things out of proportion, and we're just regurgitating things that we hear other people say. They don't seem to ponder that maybe we're all saying the same things for a reason. Sometimes adults will dismiss what you have to say because of your age. Oh, you're 16, you don't know any better. You're 17, you're still a dumbass kid, or whatever. Sometimes people have that kind of attitude towards you. I know people probably had that attitude towards me and just didn't feel comfortable to say it to my face, whereas other people had no problem putting me down. One of the things that my legal guardian said to me when I was still living in her house after I became emancipated is that you're writing a self-help book and you can't even help yourself. This was coming from someone who stayed in a 12-year marriage to somebody who she was apparently being abused by and neglected by and stuff. So she was in no position to criticize me about being incapable of helping myself. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the one who got myself out of many situations, out of foster care, out of my biological parents' custody, out of her custody, and so on and so forth. I got myself the job that landed me in a position to cross paths with her. If I couldn't help myself, how could I have done that? But see, if my self-esteem was really, really, really low, like it once was when I was a kid being put down by my biological parents and my siblings, then maybe what she said would have offended me or hurt me on a deeper level. But all I had to do in that moment was laugh at her because I could see the misery in her eyes. And I'm sure she's still just as miserable. Not that I relish in that. I'm just saying, you got to understand where you are in this world. Understand the position that you're in. Because when you are secure within yourself, people cannot get to you like that. People will say things to rattle you. People will put hands on you to rattle you. I have been bullied my entire upbringing by people at school, by people in the homes that I was transferred to, and everything in between. You can't tell me something I haven't already heard. You can't break my spirit. It's already happened. The only way to go from here is up for me. And I hope that those of you who are young, who are finding my content, finding my story, and appreciating all that I have shared, I hope that you can gain or find a way to instill that kind of attitude in yourself as well. I hope that you can gain the nerve and the strength and the courage that it takes to choose yourself over other people, especially other people who would have you fail. You can't give people your power. That's all you have. Your voice is that power. And remember that when you have nothing to lose, that's when you are feared the most. Oftentimes what keeps us in our situations, in my opinion, is this fear of what we might lose. You got to let go of that. I have lost everything so many times. When my legal guardian threw my stuff out in the rain, when she kicked me out, told me to leave everything she's ever purchased and all that kind of stuff, I left a lot of stuff behind. But I was not about to cry over cute boots from Marshalls and journal entries or journals and composition notebooks from the first 15 years of my life. I didn't want to part with a lot of that stuff, but I had to choose myself over the stuff. I had to choose my peace over the stuff. Don't be afraid to lose things. Don't be afraid to lose a person or a relationship that doesn't even serve you well to begin with. It's not worth it. Your peace of mind is all that you will ever have. That's the only thing that will keep you from falling into a really dark place. You gotta protect and cherish whatever brings you peace and joy in this really dark world. And you gotta remember to be the light in this world. Don't rely on other people to be that for you. So if you're in a situation and you're unsatisfied, maybe your mother or the caregiver that you have is quite toxic. Well, on top of planning your escape strategically and responsibly, on top of equipping yourself with the resources you need, like money from a legitimate job or side hustle, remember to dedicate a point in your day to doing something that you enjoy. If it's singing, if it's dancing, for me, that's what it is. I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to create. So if you like painting, if you like drawing, coloring, any of that kind of stuff, playing games, and so on and so forth, you just got to find something for you to do. You got to find something to keep your spirits uplifted. And I do encourage you to journal so that one day you can look back on those entries and see how far you've come. I've come a really long way. And it's things like my poetry collection, things I never said, which is available on Amazon, by the way. It is my things like my poetry collection, this interview that I did a couple years ago, and my journal entries, and sometimes old pictures and videos that allow me to put into perspective just how much I've evolved in such a short amount of time. I mean, I left my parents' home when I was 15. And it's not like things became better for me right then and there. I just got to that point where, I'm completely independent. And that happened just a year and a half ago. So it's been a really short while for me, but I've overcome so much. I've grown tremendously, and I'm so grateful. And I know that if I can do it, any and every other person has the potential to do it as well. You just have to protect your mindset and protect your heart. Don't ever allow people to break your spirit, especially the people who are super close to you. Don't ever let them get in your head and make you think that you are less than, or worse, that you are crazy for wanting better for yourself. Know that a lot of people will encourage you to settle and to accept the pennies that you are given. Oh, you should be grateful that you have this job, or you should be grateful that you have this place. The place could be falling apart. The job could be causing you so much stress and anxiety, and people who would never strive for better will tell you to just accept where you're at. Stay away from those people. And keep your imagination strong. Keep your imagination vivid and filled with those images of where you expect to be in your life. And like I said, don't stop until you get there. You're not running a race. You're not running a marathon. You are simply walking down a really long road that is called life. The only person you have to compete with is the person you were yesterday. That's it. So strive to live a life that you know you deserve. Strive to live a life that you know you want. Pick a house, any house. Go find a house on Google Images right now. Go find a house on one of these real estate sites. And every day I want you to imagine what it would be like to grow up in that house, maybe to have a family in the house, to have little animals running around, whatever it is that you want to imagine. Maybe you want to be up in that thing by yourself. I don't know. But just imagine. And let that inspire you if nothing else will. Because you've got one life. And I think that you should strive to be proud of the life that you live. Be proud of what you leave behind. I know I want to be proud of what I leave behind. And I don't want to wait until it's the end of my life to be able to look back and say I did it. No, every single day is an opportunity to say, yay, I did it. You just got to put one foot in front of the other every single day in order for yourself to be able to look back and see the progress that you have made. And what I would say in closing is don't try, strive. Take try out of your vocabulary, because quite frankly, trying means nothing, okay? When someone says, I'll try to get there, the reason you get a pit in the bottom of your stomach, it feels like your stomach just fell into your booty hole. When somebody says that they're going to try, is because you know deep down, trying means that you're leaving yourself room for failure. That's what trying means. oh, I'll try, or I'm trying, try harder. And then you'll realize that instead of trying, you should be striving. Don't try to live a life that you want. Strive to have a life that you want. And like I said, don't stop until you get there. Just don't stop. On that note, I will say, tata mi amores. Cuídate. Take care.
Gonna give you this mic back. But what I'm gonna say to the ladies that been told that you cannot have, you tell the devil you's a liar.